All right, I'm gonna make this quick video talking about who I am and what Rugged Rehab is all about, just in case you're new here and you're curious about that kind of stuff. So my name is Dr. Brandon Lonstein, or you can just call me Brandon, and I am a physical therapist in the Army, currently stationed in the Washington, D.C. area. My main job right now is serving as the physical therapist for the Old Guard, which is a unit that does all the ceremonial jobs in DC. So the burials at Arlington National Cemetery, standing guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, serving as escort to the president, jobs like that. Something that's cool about my job right now is that I get to serve two different roles. First is as a traditional physical therapist. So once soldiers get hurt, we rehab them, get them to return to duty. But second, I also get to lead injury prevention initiatives. So I get to lead projects that help soldiers just not get hurt overall. That's a really fulfilling part of my job, and that's something I'm trying to bring to Rugged Rehab, some of that injury prevention experience that not a lot of PTs outside the military get to have. Which then brings me to why I started Rugged Rehab. So really what it comes down to is I just saw a massive need in physical therapy for what I call occupational athletes. So what I mean by that is basically anybody who works a physically demanding job. So we got military service members, but two other big groups, one being first responders and the second one being tradesmen. I got a couple of family members, some friends that work in the trades, and I've seen them failed by traditional physical therapy, a lot like some of my Army patients have in the past as well. And I dive more into this on the website as far as why traditional physical therapy typically fails occupational athletes. But there's really two big reasons. First is just that a lot of the normal physical therapy advice you're going to see online or from providers at your local clinic is geared towards people that are sedentary. So it's geared towards people who have very low physical demands. So the exercises are honestly just too easy. They don't make a big enough difference for somebody with that high of a daily physical demand. And then the second thing is you'll get physical therapy that's almost kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's really focused on people that are really into like sports. So the rehab programs will be 1 or 2 hours long, and they require you resting from the aggravating activity. So they will maybe require you to take a break from running for a few weeks, for example. But for occupational athletes, that's often not an option. If you're in the military, that means you're not performing your job duties anymore. You're letting your team down. But then if you're working a trade, for a lot of people, that means you're literally not getting paid. So it's a complete zero option. It's not going to happen. So a lot of times normal PT from either end of the equation, either too easy or too sports focused, will fail occupational athletes. And I think because traditional physical therapy often fails occupational athletes, there's unfortunately been a side effect where different camps of occupational athletes think that working their job will lead to inevitable body breakdown. So both military and tradesmen, I've seen this sentiment that if you work either of those jobs, when you're in your 50s and 60s, you're going to have arthritis and you're going to have debilitating back pain and you're going to be crippled. So I know from my own personal experience that that is not definitively true. If I take an average population, an average sample right now today, that is true. But it's my belief that it's because there's a knowledge gap. The physical demands that are being put on you from working a tough job is a double-edged sword. Those physical demands are either going to do one of two things. One, they're going to build you up into a really strong and resilient and rugged human being. Or two, they're going to break you down. The key difference there is you just got to know what to do in order to be Camp A and not Camp B. So that's what really I'm trying to solve with Rugged Rehab, is solve that knowledge gap and give everybody advice on how you can be maintaining your body. Because I've seen it time and time again in the military. I see guys that are in their 50s and 60s that are retiring, and they are outperforming guys in their 20s. They have no pain, they have no issues. The big difference is they maintained their body as they went. They changed their oil every 5,000 miles. I always like to give an example of cars when I'm talking about the body. A lot of people are driving their car 100, 200,000 miles, and they never once changed their oil. So in those instances, what do you think is going to happen? And unfortunately, I think a lot of us just don't know what that means. We don't know what the equivalent of an oil change means for our body. So again, that's what Rugged Rehab is all about. So on that note, if you do have any questions about fixing pain or preventing pain, then please reach out to me. I'm here on social media to be social. So don't be surprised if I DM you asking you how it's going. I want to get to know some of you guys. I want to make some connections and see how I can help you to the best of my ability.